All right, we've told you guys in the past that if we don't get enough likes on our videos, there's a good chance that these cars could explode and burn down to the ground. So we got it this far. Say that. Shuts off so violently. And we'd like to keep it at this point and bring it even further, so be sure to like and subscribe.
What's going on, Team Boosted? Welcome to another Om606 Super Turbo build. We are going to be hopefully getting it maybe running a little bit today. Or not today, but
in this next video.
We're going to be modifying the stock exhaust until Diesel Pump UK finishes whatever it is that they're doing. We're going to put a big turbo on this, so get rid of this little bitch. This is our genius at work.
That sounds like a good speed. Oh, almost assuredly this is going to fall off at some point.
But it only needs to last about a week.
Yeah, ideally this is only going to be for the start video and then we won't have it anymore.
This is pretty much going to be our deal. We got our flange here. This is going to enable us to run a wastegate. And then we're going to have a 45 off that onto this flange. And it's probably going to flow like dog shit, but it only needs to work for like testing purposes, essentially. Here's our mock-up. If we brace it, there's a couple of good spots here. We have like this heat shield over here, but it's got some threaded holes. We can build some brackets through that.
I was kind of figuring maybe just weld on or make a little bracket that like cups these two mounting bolts and goes down to those two bolts on the...
And then of course on the other side, we have a whole bunch of real estate for
a wastegate on there, so we should be set up.
So now we got to pull the engine to finalize pretty much everything we did in the last video. We got to paint these engine mounts. We got to repaint the frame rails. We got to pretty much just paint everything and get this all ready for actual installation. Here's our motor mounts. It's all red. Nothing else is red, so that'll be a nice little pop of color without a little contrast without looking tacky. Here's the cleaned and now...
Also, EGR has been blocked off with a piece of brazed on steel, so it shouldn't crack.
This is gonna look nice. Let me show you the big turbo adapter. Here it is. This side bolts to the manifold. This goes up to the turbo. Here's our wastegate. So this is our old core support. Previous owner shit, not us. And then you'll see here there's some angle iron instead of frame rail. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this back to where it becomes frame rail once again and do that on both sides. I'm going to replace it with some 2x2 steel, extend this out, and do a nice big thick new core support. We want this to be as strong as possible, and we wanted to do this before repainting the engine bay again. So I'm going to strengthen that before the motor's ready to go back in. Okay, so it's been a minute. This is 1,000 times better than what we had before. And here's our solution to the stock manifold big turbo game. Big turbo is gonna sit, ow, that's really hot. James didn't warn me. Right there.
We certainly did just tell you that's very hot.
Okay, so today we're putting a big focus on getting the car ready to have the engine installed in it. We got a new fuel tank, little 12-gallon stainless steel. The old plastic one had like a foam problem, and we're on to newer and better things here. So I don't know if I showed you the end result of our frame reconstruction, but looking good, looking straight, confirmed with squares and levels and things of that nature. This is actually going to be a mount for the gas tank. It's a piece of metal. It's going to have a hole drilled in it for the new stainless steel gas tank.
Do you like my hilarious $2 Amazon drill press that's fresh broken?
Well, our Harbor Freight one broke out of the box, so.
Yeah, so this is go number 2.
Does it work then? So the tank's in there pretty good, and then we got room for the battery right here next to the tank. And this is about 10 gallons, but this thing should get 30 miles to the gallon on the highway, giving it a 300-mile range, which...
Good old diesel.
Yep. Okay, so with the battery mounted, to finish the lines, we need to put the motor back in, but this time we want it to be ready to like stay in one piece. So we got the adapter kit on. This is from Diesel Pump UK, like all of our other stuff. It's a really nice aluminum piece here, and this will allow the bell housing of this CD09 to bolt to it. So we had to fabricate a slightly shorter clutch arm pivot ball. I'm guessing the one for the adapter kit was designed around the stamped clutch port. There since has been an upgraded cast one, and this was simply too long. So we measured and combined two of the old ones to make this one slightly shorter, but yeah, mid-length. We needed one in between, so that took a long ass time, and hopefully it works. Okay, so at this point we're ready to put the engine in, get it ready for a test drive. We got the clutch situation finally sorted out last night. Part of the test drive thing is I need to get a drive shaft made, so I got my slip yoke in the back, and we're gonna measure to the differential in the car. Also, with this in here, we're gonna be able to finish up making our new gas lines, or fuel lines I should say, because it is now a diesel. We got the battery and the fuel tank mounted under the floor level. The car is completely gutted because this time around it's getting a better, cleaner, nicer to be in interior, maybe even air conditioning, who knows. But oh my god. Nope, that looks out of control. We're bolting everything up for the first test drive, and then everything needs to come out. And with the first test drive, we'll probably have some issues we need to sort out. And then when the engine's out, after the test drive, we'll paint everything and finalize everything. The shifter has come in. As you can see, it's a little too far back to use the stock center console, so we're gonna have to probably make our own. This here is from Excessive Manufacturing. So you got first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. You'll notice that it's kind of doing a this direction kind of thing. This could be installed forward or backwards. We just want it closer to the stock position as possible, closest to the stock position as possible. So we got it in backwards. It looks a little silly, but it's okay. Here's how the engine mounts came out, all painted up. Did them red because there needs to be a little bit of color in here. We're gonna be building, this is the old core support. It doesn't work because the car used to be a 4-cylinder. It's now a 6-cylinder, so we have some nice strong stuff to bolt it to this time though, so should be even better than it was last time. Here's a mid-install update. What we're working on before we get the radiator and intercooler installed, we need to have a turbo for the intercooler to go to and water pump stuff for the radiator to go to. So here's our water pump. It's the upgraded, one. I don't know how it's upgraded, but it is upgraded. With that, it's been tapped for the rear cylinder cooling mod. A lot of straight sixes suffer from this. This one's no exception. The rear cylinder gets the least amount of cooling. There's a mod that you can do to your oil pump, and it goes into the block down there. It provides extra cooling to the rearmost cylinders. Eliminates that as a problem. We're attaching all this stuff now. We're getting pretty lucky with some of the clearance we got to the motor mount. Doesn't touch our little steam pipe we made for the turbo. Doesn't touch the heater hose. So we're getting pretty lucky because we didn't consider any of this stuff. And sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you get shit on. That's how this stuff goes. So at this point in assembling things for the test drive, we are looking at the radiator intercooler stack. Got that box wedged in there on purpose. This is the lean over that we need to. Big thing again with this is clearing the hood. By the way, we know this turbo isn't going to clear, but this is for test drive purposes. And this manifold's actually for a different project. We're just using it here until we get the other manifold that is going to make it so we can clear the hood. But
assuming the engine itself clears the hood, which we still don't know.
But I can just get that competition bump.
Oh yeah.
Which will be sick.
Basically done exactly like the motor mounts were, where there's basically an end piece welded onto a piece of 1-inch tube.
This is gonna slot in here.
Enough room we can fit a socket in there decently, easily.
It's gonna slot through here and then buzz, and then that's mounted halfway. So being in like this, weld this up, and then we'll cut these flush, and it's really discreet. It's at the right angle, it's there. So I'm gonna go ahead and weld that, and then we'll move on to the top mounts and the radiator. We're connected to the road, boys. The Om606 is now powering these wheels. Now to get the clutch to work and other things.
Now it's harder to push.
Sam's working on finishing up the cooling stack. We're leaving room in here for air conditioning, the condenser, because one day might want to have a car with air conditioning that also goes fast. I know, it's crazy. What we just found out is that the Clutch Master, the stock Datsun one, is too small for the bigger 350Z transmission. So we just so happen to have a box of master cylinders. We have a nice CNC one. Is it in here?
No, it's over here.
Where it at? Where it at? Where it at?
There we go.
Look at it, boom!
We actually have these in two sizes. This
Yes.
one's a 3/4, this one's a 7/8, but they're the same family. So we figure if one's too big or too small, we have step up or step down.
The radiator in its new location sits so close to the engine that modifications are being made because we're gonna need a very short radiator hose. So today's goal of the cooling stack has been accomplished. Oil, intercooler, radiator, room for AC in there. The, what's it called? The condenser? Condenser. Got room for that. And it's all fucking mounted.
AC?
I wanted to be comfortable, dude. I'm getting old.
I want to be comfortable. It's going to be an awesome death trap.
No, it's gonna be really nice this time. We bought like power locking doors.
Wow.
And there's gonna be a radio. Gotta do something with all this torque, dude. The car weighs like 2,500 pounds. So like if it's gonna have 700 foot-pounds of torque, I might as well have sound deadening and air conditioning. Okay, so we got the cooling stack finished up last night. The oil cooled in the front needs these. We could use AN, but these are like AN push lock lines. And it's super easy to do these. You squish these together. There's usually a little stopper, but I lost this one. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So then we go over here. So we're going under the motor mount because I want to get everything as out of the way of the intercooler piping as possible, because that's all gonna take up this area.
Yeah.
So Sam's got like an area in which you could shoot the pipe through now.
Yeah, nice hole.
And we got little hold downs for these, and we'll get to that in a second. But that's pretty much how this is gonna work. So this is the part where we assemble everything for real this time after test fits and modifying. The intercooler is all set, the radiator is all set, the cooling core stack seems to be good to go. A few more things to do over here. Gotta connect the glow plugs. Devin's gonna wire in just the necessities to get this thing started and driving. The only thing that we're going to be missing temporarily is throttle linkage, but we have pretty much everything else to drive this. We're just going to connect it all right now, and we'll try to get it started in the car. Okay, so something I cannot recommend enough is that
Boom, boom.
pressurized.
It's a motive power fill thingamahoozy.
The goo sender.
The Guatron 8 million.
So we're getting ready to put the car into start mode, and we don't want to run anything dry. You still have plenty of pressure in that, by the way.
Yeah, I just want the gauge pointed towards me so I can actually tell how much pressure I have.
So filling the trans, filling the engine with oil. The floor is wet because we had several water incident leaks, things.
Yeah,
Radiator leaked.
pressure check.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate, but it's all sorted now, so almost ready to start it. Okay, so this isn't much different than starting it on the pallet, only this time it's in the car. So what we want to do is crank it to get oil pressure because it's been drained since the last time, and then we'll be ready to start it for the first time in the car with all the stuff hooked up to it. So let's do some cranking.
Turn the fuel pump on for a couple seconds.
Do you think that's enough cranking?
Yeah, let's do one more round of cranking the fuel pump off.
All right, what's everyone's opinion on that?
I mean, we could crack the fucking turbo feed and check for oil pressure there.
Well, whatever, fuck it, I don't care.
Whatever, fuck it. Fuck it, we'll do it live.
Alright.
Okay, so this is how we have it ghettoed to start.
We got ignition, which is really just the alternator excite wire to let it know to charge. Glow plugs, the kill switch, and fuel. So
With the glow plugs for like, it's cold today, 15 seconds.
They're also insulated and quite long, so it'd probably take.
That's definitely 15 seconds. You don't want to melt them.
I did 20 seconds. They're metal, they don't melt.
And crack the fucking.
So you notice there was a little bit of belt squeak yesterday when we had that cooling system fiasco. A bunch of coolant got on our belt, and it's slowly going away. But if you've ever spilt coolant on a belt before, that squeal could last a while because it's got like a greasy film to it. The next thing we have to do is the throttle linkage. Unfortunately, the parts that we ordered for that, we're going for like a mechanical kind of push rod system. It's gonna have, it's got the skateboard bearing right here, and it's gonna be a system of these quadrants, and it's gonna push on the throttle over here. It's a little complicated, and we need the parts to do it, and this is stuff that our hardware stores carry, but not in exactly the way that we need them to. So we're not gonna be able to drive it today. The roads are soaked, even though it looks sunny out, because it's been rainy and windy in San Diego. So it's probably not a good idea to drive this car today anyway. It was a mountain of work to get it to this stage. We didn't film much. You'll notice there was no montages or anything like that. We were just trying to get it done because we said in the last video that we wanted to drive it this time. We were really going for it. It's been 2 weeks since we've posted. I think we all underestimated how much work this is. None of this is, I mean, this is somewhat, it's temporary, but like somewhat permanent. This is how it's going to go back in, but we obviously need to paint this. We need to paint the frame rails. We need to get it running with throttle linkage so we could finish, so we can connect our charge piping. There's a lot of little things to do. The new manifold comes in soon, and that's going to bring the turbo down enough for us to get a hood. Obviously the interior has a ton of work that needs to be done on it, but we got it so it can be driven shortly. So you guys should see the driving video real soon, actually. Within a couple of days, we'll be out here, hopefully not breaking it. We're pretty confident this is all really stout. We put a lot of time into making sure that nothing was going to go wrong. So we're excited for how far we got. We'll probably be a little bit more modest with our goals in our timelines, but it's looking pretty good. Guys, remember you can support us by checking out boostedshades.com. It's partially responsible for funding some of the projects on the channel, and we actually give away products from boostedshades.com every single video. All you got to do to win is like, subscribe, and leave a comment. This video's winner is Bill Carini, if I pronounced the name wrong. Sorry about that. Anyways, Like I said, just like, subscribe, and leave a comment, and you could win the next video's giveaway. It's products from BoostedShades.com. Even if you don't win, that's a really good way to support us. Thanks for watching, guys. Look out for the driving video. It should be coming real soon. See you next time.